Major League Rugby and the San Diego Legion are brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts. America's finest city runs on Dunkin'. Sharp Business Systems. Transfer the day-to-day management of your network and print operations over to us. Falcon West Insurance Brokers for all your auto, business or home insurance needs. For the second week in a row, it's the men in red at home, led by 34-year-old Joe Peterson. And in the forwards, Paddy Ryan takes over as vice-captain from Drew Gaffney. San Diego have 6 international players in their squad of the 23 that do not qualify for the Eagles. Same starting pack that Rob Holy has gone for. Watch for Kenny Nasagenga and veteran Lou Stanfield. 3 changes in the backs. He stepped by Marcus Tupuolu in, and veteran Mike Teo returns, wearing 14 today. Fullback Carl Rogers replaces Connor Kearns at 15. Positional change for Jasa Vera Malua comes in at outside center.
Consistency has been the approach for Seattle, with little turnover from their championship season. Look for new lock Abhi Nakatina to be dynamic in the loose, bringing Fijian flair to the pack. The big news in the back line is the loss of USA fly half Ben Seema, forcing captain Shalom Suniola to move from center to 10 and bringing Canadian George Barton off the bench to start.
It's going to be a wet one out there. A referee, Scott Green, the man with pink in the middle. He doesn't need gel for that hair right now. He looks gorgeous. And it's San Diego to receive. On the left of your screen wearing red, and it's Shalom Suniola on the right. They're kicking off. Suniola to get match number 7 in Major League Rugby 2019. Our final game for round 2 underway. 40 minutes each way. And it's Suniola, 18 caps for the Eagles, Rugby World Cup 2015 appearance. His brother is in the squad as well, Roland Suniola, and he of course played against Andrew Suniola against the Austin Elite in last year's competition. 3 brilliant brothers and 1 great family. It is Seawolves ready against San Diego. Green says, let's go! Stanfield, good first take from the number 4. Big Boyer getting his forward set for the box kick. Providing extra support is Devon Short. He didn't chase it well last time, and this time, Ricky Hutting, good touch for him as Mike Teo brings him to the ground. Low one to handle. They do well until they lose it. Legion ball. Gaffney picks this one up. Cathedral High School product. Thought about turning it around to Boyer and then took it into the contact himself. Kenny Nasagenga with that man bun of his. Loose ball though. Peterson back in the pocket. Tough conditions for both sides, so you'll see a lot of kicking going on here. Big one from Matt Turner. Finds his opposite number, Carl Rogers. And then Peterson again. Vili Tolatau's there. Here he ranges up on the outside. No kick coming from Tolatau. He barrels it forward, takes 3 players with him to the halfway line. Phil Mack, first touch for the scrum off. Canadian international puts it down the throat of Peterson. His 3rd kick so far. Suniola collects inside his 22. The number 10, who replaces Ben Seema, goes to the right-hand side. It's a touch.
Wow, these conditions are very, very difficult. It is wet, it is windy, and just as you said, Dallin, lots and lots of kicking. I think this is going to be advantage to Legion. The loss of Seema and his big boot. Suniola is a great attacking player, a great rugby player, but not a kicker at heart. And you could see Vili Tolatau, he was not going to kick back. I think that's what we're going to see when the back row forwards get their hands on the ball. That's when they're going to run.
First line out, Dion Muir from Tiswana University. Played in the Varsity Cup in South Africa. Devon Short. He's equal to the task. They get the maul going to the Legion. Forwards coach Scott Murray, 87 caps for Scotland. He's been a big change for them this season. And they get the first penalty of the game to the San Diego side. San Diego, well, there's several things Rob Holy wanted to correct for his side. The breakdown was a big issue last time, getting clean ball. We've already seen it's been tense in that area so far. Defense are wide, they need to get better connected. And then, of course, more accurate with the infield kicking. The chasers need to be there, and you saw Mike Teo already doing that, so they're correcting some of those things from last weekend.
Well, I think the kick chase in particular, there's going to be so many kicks that the challenge that San Diego had last year is that they were just too, last week, they were just too tight. And so being able to build that, they've already done that well. And as you said, Dallin, at the breakdown, possession is going to be key today. So great line out, great attacking opportunity. They're going to be looking to drive this and get it over the line if they can.
Short and another good take. Nasagenga is there with him. The 25-year-old Fijian-born player. Played at Beaumont Shore just recently. Steps up to the professional ranks. Lou Stanfield has it at the back, 56 caps for the USA. Beautiful maul as they keep going for the line. 6 meters out. Check that, about 8 now. Ball does drop to the ground, so Boyer's got to pick it up, but it's penalty, says referee Green yet again.
Great drive, and coming in from the side, calling for the penalty there by Scott Green. You have to come from your own side. It's a way of preventing a good driving maul if you can get away with it. So I think there's the only thing that Seattle could do to stop it, but now they've given San Diego another chance. And of course, Seattle come into this game looking to improve on their performance, but they've got to be careful. Shutting down the wide attack, I think, is one of the things. I think the weather's going to do that for them, but they have to be patient on attack, making sure that they hold on to the ball, and the scrum will be key, just like it was last year.
Good take there, and then Peterson in midfield. Turns it to JP du Plessis. Fellow South African player, Super Rugby experience. They loop around with Muir now. Big Dion Muir. The vice-captain, Paddy Ryan. Sole test for Australia was in 2012 against France. He'll be eagerly watching the Six Nations as that goes on currently. Chris Tarori. Early touch for the loose forward. Peterson goes across field. Their chaser's there. It's not a deep end goal, so they dive over. It's going to be a 22-meter dropout.
Interesting choice there. If you can't move the ball wide because it's windy and wet, you can kick the ball wide. It's another way of having a great wide attack. And Brock Staller, I thought, did really well. There were 3 Legion players coming down on top of him, but Dallin, this all came from the mishandle by Devon Short. They had a great attacking line out, the Legion did. He wasn't able to hold the ball into that line out. That put them into the position where they had to play wide, and I think that they would much prefer to hold on to that ball, take those penalties, drive it over the line.
Siniula goes deep with his drop kick. Mikey Teo is there. Teo has apparently been superb at training. He actually injured his ACL last year, this time against the Seattle Seawolves, so psychological game for him as well as Nathan Sylvia. 24-year-old from Fresno, California, takes it up. Du Plessis steps off the right, still carries forward. Rickett Hunting has him. Tarori, very flat, but drives those legs of his, gets on the front foot. Peterson shifts it wide this time. Muir in midfield. Looking to step yet again is Rogers.
Tackle now! Release, Greg!
San Diego getting much crisper passing off the deck. Able to move it across field. Peterson spots a little bit of space behind Peter Tiberio. Does well, does Tibbs. He calls for a mark, and that's experience.
You're right there.
So, new game for a lot of people that are watching this. And so, quick play there. If it's a free kick, then you get to play the ball quickly, but different kind of game. So the ancestor of football, so 15 players each side, it's a continuous game. Everyone gets to play offense and defense. There's lots of ways to score. You can't pass the ball forward, but when a tackle happens, Dallin, the play just continues. That's why it's such a hard game to play, and it's such a hard game to play in these conditions.
Muir done well though in his earlier line out. Devon Short was the target. Stanfield looks on at the front, it's knocked down, and here it goes. Ryan, Paddy Ryan, people slipping everywhere. Ryan diving through like he scored just inside the 22. The Legion put the pressure on. Peterson's driven backwards. Good tackle there from Barton. And now, Louis Stanfield. Not much possession here for the Seawolves. It's all the home side. Nasagenga on the outside. Better use of their forwards as Ryan goes in yet again. 105 caps in Super Rugby for the front row forward. Gaffney now. Short angle for the number 8. Went to UC Berkeley, played under Jack Clark. Stanfield, another one of those Cal products. 4 national championships he has to his name. Ryan yet again, very active so far as the tight forward. Tolatawa's in, making a mess of this, and he's turned things around for the Seawolves. Vital possession for Phil McEnany's side. Tiberio has numbers here. Puts the grubber kick in. Difficult to handle for Mikey Teo, who does one. You can't dive up on a player on the ground, so it'll be a penalty to the Legion. Teo goes quickly, not scared to take it up. Oh, and he's dropped the ball. Teo, the jump step, and he forgot the ball. Seawolves will have this one.
Wait there, boys. Stay
And Phil
out.
Mack slows things down, finds Rickett Hutting on a hard line.
Stay there.
Hutting, a 24-year-old from Pretoria, Gauteng in South Africa. It's Ali Khalifi, 275 pounds of pure muscle. Siniula goes high. Their chasers on that side. Knock back for San Diego. Great work there, and Rogers has it now. He's met by George Barton, 2 caps for Canada in 2017. Nasagenge. Very active game he had last week, and that's why Nasagenge cuts up the middle. Big Kenny. Oh, big shoulder on him. Loses possession. It's ferocious stuff in the opening 8 minutes of this game, and another penalty, and referee Green is going to have a chat.
Wow, this game is being played at such a pace. They're tapping it, they're going fast. It's not what you would normally do in conditions like this.
I had number 10 coming in, no rat in the tackle. So Red was falling into it. So I'm thinking here, penalty only. Yeah, on 10. Okay, yeah.
So great break there.
Yeah,
but you can see in the conditions when the tackle happened, and he said there was no rat, but because it was just a shoulder, he said it's no yellow card, it's just a penalty. I think Peterson will be thinking about taking the points here in these conditions. And you can see the players there saying, hey, no hard feelings, things like that happen in the game. There's a great camaraderie amongst rugby players, Dallin.
Wonderful sportsmanship shown there from Shalom Siniula and Kenny Nasagenge. Well, Kenny knows too he's going to run now at that channel.
That's right, that's right. Well, I think what we've seen is that when the Seawolves can't get off the line defensively, the Legion have been able to get over the line and drive forward. It's a great footwork there by the big guy, but you can look right here. This is Suniola coming in. He has to wrap, so when he comes in and makes the hit, you can see there's no wrap there, and maybe even a little bit high, which I think was the question about the yellow card.
Yeah, slipping into it, the man from Suva, Fiji, Kenny Nasagenge. You'll hear more about him as the season progresses. It's a maul here for the Legion. Boyer trying to get arms free there. Rickett Hutting has come in. That big beard and tall timber of him still available there. Brad Tucker trying to be a nuisance, the man from University of Canterbury. As Boyer loses this one. And it's applause for the men in green.
2 ways to defend the driving maul. One is to drive them back and stop the drive, and the referee will tell them to play it. The other way to do it is to actually work your way through the middle of the maul, and that's what Rickard Hatting did there. He came right through the middle, he got his hands on the ball. Because he got his hands on the ball, then the Legion had to take it down, but Dallin, because it was a maul, then the Seawolves don't have to roll away, but the Legion are playing the whole of this first 10 minutes in the right half, and it's a real struggle for Seattle to get out of their half into the Legion's half.
Phil Mack, the experienced number 9 from Victoria, British Columbia. 55 caps and 4 tries for Canada. 52 tournaments. First Canadian to reach 50 tournaments in the HSBC Sevens World Series. Actually played against him in 2007 and 2009. He's still going strong here as Mack. He gets George Barton. Good line from the inside centre. Hutting is there to help out as Suniula looks for the touchline.
And that's where you see the loss of Ben Seamer, because that clearing kick didn't even get outside of the 22, and it's not a knock on Shalom, but it's a real challenge.
Let's go down to Stacey for more on Ben Seamer.
Yeah, guys, he was a great acquisition for the Seattle team, and he's out today he had a knock in that Seattle game in the very first, the home opener. He wants to play, but the long-term health of each of their players is what's most important to the Seattle team, so that's why he's not going to go today. They are expecting him back next week, though.
Well, that is good news for next week as well. As you said, the kicking game so important, and you mentioned it, not many of the rest of the backline has the ability to put the ball downfield.
Absolutely, probably Brock Staller, the only guy that can really do it.
Meanwhile, it's Nasagenge at the back. Short was the recipient in the line-out. Muir has it now. The hooker played with the Border Bulldogs, Western Province, and the Falcons in South Africa. Highly experienced front row forward.
5 is good. 5
Rob
is
Hogan
good.
would be very happy with his team so far in the first 11. Of course, points not scored by either side yet. Still 0-0. Short. Lost the ball. Barton has it. They have advantage. Rasalika lets it go. Tiberio fires across to Turner. England 7-star puts it downfield. And that is a better looking kick towards the halfway line.
Well, a real opportunity there for Seattle, but I think it's not just the wet, it's also the wind, and you could see that that ball just died on the way to Matt Turner. Real challenge here, but I think that it's the holding on to the ball in the contact that's going to be really critical. So near the line, they've got the ball. Devon Short just too upright, exposes the ball. That gives Seattle this opportunity. You can see Tiberio not quite able to hold on to it.
Short the target again. They were the Blackhawks in Las Vegas. His father started that program. That's how he got into the game. It is untidy. Gaffney goes quickly. Numbers weren't correct. Teo gets the bump, but he's not scared. Tolatawa's all over him. Been told to let it go, though. Petty Ryan, aggressive as he goes forward. Barton loses the battle in that charge. Peterson on the front foot, just stabs it over the top. Turner does well.
So we're going to be seeing a lot of mark. Let's explain what that is. So if you receive a kick inside your 22, so within 22 meters of your own try line, and you actually have to call mark when you're catching it. The play stops and the referee lets you get a free kick. So here you'll see Turner's going to kick it out, but they're going to lose possession. Oh, didn't make touch.
Kearns adds us one. Now Boyer, Eagle capped as well. Peterson goes high, an opportunity to call that mark. No, it's just outside the 22. Off the head, it's a Falcon. Tolatawa slips, almost breaks an ankle as he goes down hard on that turf. And that's the tricky situation here with the wet. Anything can happen with that slippery soap. Ball there for the Seawolves. Mack runs back, thought about kicking it. Vasiliki was there. Tolatawa now through the backboard. It's genius. Hammered through downfield. Not a very far kick though, so Kearns cleans it up. Peterson just playing aerial ping pong here as he plays the ball back to Turner. Well positioned is Matt Turner, the man from Cape Town, South Africa. Doesn't find his touch. So Peterson has this. There's not many players back there. Saniula's one of them. It's a kick that stays in the field of play. It's brilliant from Joe Peterson. Saniula has to play it, and he does well himself. The skills here are sublime. Not out though. The hot stepper, the jump step. Mikey Teo cracks it on. HSBC Sevens World Series player and ARC back-to-back champion, Nasaganga. Ducks down with that ponytail. Stanfield loses it backwards. Duplessis cleans up nicely. Peterson thought about a drop goal. Good step though. Gap open and then closed very quickly for the number 10. It's another penalty yet again to the San Diego Legion. They were piling on the pressure here in the first 15.
And they need to take the 3 points. You know the points against the Seawolves is going to be difficult.
Petty Ryan's gone quickly. He says, I'm not kicking this ball, Pete Steinberg, and he smashes it upfield. Wild pass down the outside. Now cutting back in, Jasa Veremalua, the 2016 Rio gold medalist with Fiji, as Gaffney loses it for the line.
Advantage.
2 or 3 meters away, and no advantage coming here for the Seawolves.
And that's why you take the 3 points. In conditions like this, you really have to make sure you take the points on offer. The Seattle defense is really excellent. You can see the ball slipping all over the place. It's hard to pick up when they come in. And again, Gaffney just a little bit upright, not protecting that ball. And I think that was a mistake by the Legion. You need to take the 3 points. And what's remarkable is this the first scrum? I mean, considering the conditions, lots of good skill there. I think the referee's been letting it play, and that's been the real advantage.
It happened in round 1 as well. San Diego denied going for poles a couple of times when they had the opportunity. They went for the line out, weren't able to get scores on those occasions. You take a look at the rain coming down here at Torero Stadium, University of San Diego. Hutting has it at the back for the Seawolves. He picks and goes himself. Rickett Hutting. Wonderful number 8 for the Seawolves. Kick towards the touchline is a much better one from Phil Mack. Kearns goes quickly. Marcus Tupualu, he can step. Look at this man go. Tupualu in open space. The 7th maestro was in Mike Friday's squad. And now with the Legion, ball still available. Ryan yet again. He's definitely had some Dunkin' Donuts. The coffee, that is, not the donuts. Fired up here are the Legion. Quick hands. Vasiliki comes flying in and hammers Joe Peterson. taken a big knock, and referee Green says, let's just check for player safety.
Yeah.
And great defense by the Legion there to rebuild their wall. When that break happens, it's really, really hard to be able to rebuild the wall, but they do. They come in and they make the hit, and it looks like they're going to get checked out, and it's Joe Peterson that's down, and this would be a huge loss for the Legion. We hope he's okay.
Well, everything revolves around Peterson with the boot ball in hand defensively as well.
And the Seawolves leave the line pretty often. That's Rasalika. There's nothing dangerous about that, but it looked maybe he just hit his chin with his head when he went in.
Well, I tell you why, to me, that's dangerous, is because he's gone so high. Rasalika, and happened to Perry Baker in the sevens, where a player stands tall and makes a tackle, and you see his head connecting with Peterson, and that is where the injury comes in. And I think you should go lower.
Well, I mean, I think he should go lower, but in terms of the way the game is called, because the contact was below the shoulder right now, they're calling that okay. They're not going to call that unsafe. And this is one of the big discussions that is going on in rugby now about how they can make it safer. And you can see the shoulder hit is just below the shoulder, but because their head is right there, I think it was a head-to-head contact.
I can't hear you.
And that's why the discussion, you're so right, they want to lower it.
One red, and what the
Below
issue
the
was one
line.
red?
So lots of exciting play, even in these difficult conditions. And so when the ball comes wide, you can see Teo moving it. They're trying to move the ball here, and that's one of the things that San Diego are doing. But when you move it wide, that allows the defense to launch, and it was really man and ball from that pass of Lou Stanfield.
That's good, but I'll keep an eye. One side of the box. Yeah, sure.
Just want to talk about some of the community, Pete, that community work that the Legion are doing. It really is phenomenal. They've partnered up with the San Diego Armed Forces YMCA, and they're, of course, doing a toy drive for them as well. Really ingenious things they're doing to get the community rallied around behind the team.
Well, I think Southern California has a great rugby community here, Dallin. I mean, you've been part of it. Even Scott Murray was involved with UCLA in Santa Monica, and I think it makes a lot of sense for the program. The Seawolves are also reaching out to their community. They're involved in things like the Special Olympics, and I think they're doing it to help build the brand, but I also think they're doing it just because it's the right thing to do, and rugby has that tradition. Great to see Joe Peterson get up, and there's Rasalika giving him a bit of a hug, so it's great to see him walking off the field unassisted.
Time's on.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not great to see him walking off the field, but you're right, he's up, which is fantastic. You're going to have a little check to see if he does leave the field. He certainly will need to get checked out, and his replacement, well, it's going to be key to see who comes off the bench right now. Tainoso has been groomed as the next level fly half.
We're good to go.
And Mike Teo as well. Mikey Teo can play there also.
Absolutely, there's lots of players. It looks like it's Tainoso that's coming on. And he's a bit of a, speaking to Rob Hoadley, he's definitely a bit of a utility back. You know, listed as a scrum half, but can play really anywhere in the back line. But again, we lose a little bit of the kicking game. The Legion, now both sides have replacement fly halves that are great runners, but not such good kickers, which is going to make a more open game. But what's really been useful for the Legion in the first 17 minutes is them playing in territory.
Scrum time here for the Legion. Tainoso capped with the Eagles in 2011, 6 times, including Rugby World Cup 2011 in New Zealand. They get the left shoulder. Boyer then cuts back to the left-hand side with Duplessis can't handle.
Oh, very messy there. I mean, it looked like everything was coming to the right. Boyer saw something, came back. I don't know that Duplessis was ready, but a strong scrum right there from San Diego on their own ball, which I think is probably the most important thing. 84% of the territory. 84% of the territory Legion have had. That's remarkable, but it's still nothing.
Well, we haven't called many of the Seawolves names, bar defense and a few kicks here and there. Really showcasing the Legion's effort they're putting in here. They're also out without Dylan Orsley in the center position. That's why Vera Malua is there. Gary Gold called him up into the America's Rugby Championship side that smashed Chile by 70 points today. Phil Mack, center field scrum just outside the 22. Hutting heels it. Then Suniula chips it over the top. This one in the field of play. Tupualo has this. Good take from the winger, but he can't get his pass away. And that's the pressure that the weather will do to you as well. Seawolves come piling in. Nasagenge has it.
Right there, Ray.
In fact, inside there was Vera Malua. Forwards peeling away now, told to use it. Gaffney, pick and drive with Lou Stanfield. Gaffney, four-time national champion under Jack Clark as well. First team to beat BYU at home. As Boyer goes to the air. There chasers now. Tolatau has this, but hit hard. Not down though. Ball goes back and it's available. Kick through by Duplessis. Chasing. Teo has advantage. Sliding down there is Tiberio.
Wow. Well, so this is what we talked about. We talked about the errors and how the errors can have an impact. So we saw Tupoloa make an error coming backwards. We thought that was going to give Seattle an opportunity. But Vili Tuatalu, in this rain, don't throw that ball away. By throwing that ball away, Duplessis got his foot. And actually, there was a bit of a block on the way. You could hear Scott Green say advantage. But he said, hey, you've got the advantage with this 5-meter scrum. A real loss there from Seattle. You're right. They haven't had the ball because they haven't had the territory. And Vili Tolatau right there, not letting them keep that territory and putting their team on the back foot again.
Up front in your picture there, Oli Khalifi. Rugby World Cup 2015, he played in England. 24 caps for the USA. He's there with Tim Metcher and Stefan Kutsia, the front row, up against Dion Muir, Ryan and Sylvia. They go to the ground, so they'll reset things.
You can just see a little bit of the angle right there of Khalifi. He's just trying to come in. It's going to be a really interesting challenge. You can see the battle that's going on right here. Khalifa comes in, Paddy Ryan is holding him, so I actually think Khalifi took that down and said, hey, I want another go. Paddy Ryan did a great job of keeping him out, which is what the tight head wants to do. Doesn't want to let his head get inside and into the chest of the tight head.
Paddy Ryan, a product of St. Joseph's College, playing alongside Australian legend Curtly Beale. New South Wales Waratah knows his stuff up front. And there it, Khalifi again takes a knee. Tries to burrow in. Falls at the back for Gaffney. Gaffney picks and goes. Driven backwards though. Good strong tackle from the Seawolves. Keeps him at bay 5 meters out. Devon Short looking to pick and drive with Stanfield. Still there for the home side. Asagenge loses it. No advantage coming. Penalty here again for the Legion.
No advantage from the scrum. So that was a great scrum by San Diego. We saw the referee come over and you can see Khalifi puts his knee down, but Paddy Ryan says, I'm not going to do that. And I think that he just called them because Seattle were just walking around. They weren't accepting the pressure, and that gave a free play. And they're smart. Look at this. After all of those troubles, all of those penalty tries that happened against the Legion last year, Dallin, they've actually chosen a 5-meter scrum. That tells you the impact that the new players and the new forwards coach, Scott Murray, has made.
You wouldn't have thought so last year. But of course, Hoadley was very busy in the off-season. And on the bench as well, they get the big units, Capelli, Pifaletti, and Whakaosi Pifaletti as well. Aaron Mitchell, still to come for San Diego. Last scrum, Khalifi in picture. There he is, going down yet again, burrowing in on the side.
So what the referee is looking for is he's looking for everyone staying square, which means that you want to keep your hips going forward. You can see Khalifi right here. What's happening when he's taking the pressure, his hips are coming out, and that's pushing him in, while Paddy Ryan is staying square. So I think we'll see a little bit of Scott Green. He might come over to that side because I think that's where the problem of the scrum is.
More stability, eh? Too much movement. Okay, so we've got to go stable.
Exactly right, Pete Steinberg, and there he is. Got to go stable, says Scott Green, and originally from Australia. He's in Austin, Texas. One of the best players with the whistle. So there he is, watching numbers 1 and 3. Paddy Ryan, the vice captain in 3 for San Diego. And the experienced Oli Khalifi made his test debut 2014, last test in 2018 against Canada. In fact, 2013 he first appeared for the US, 15 aside. Boyer now at the back. It is stable ball for Teo, first receiver, Mike Teo from the right wing. Siniula wraps him up. Forwards looping around, slow ball for Lou Stanfield. He will pick and drive. Seattle allowed to regroup. at this speed. Tolatau there looking for a turnover, ready to pinch. And now they're flinging it across, and Nosa gets it away. Duplessis initially went down. Duplessis trying to reach for the line. He's just short. And now this could be dangerous. We could see a player going to the bin here. Yes, Green's gone to the pocket, and it's not for a date card.
9. Yeah, you're on the ground, you're playing the ball.
Phil Mack will sit for 10 minutes in the bin, and they'll play with 14.
So if you're near the line and your team is trying to score and the opposition is doing something illegal to prevent you from scoring, that's called foul play and therefore is a yellow card. And in the tackle, Phil Mack just doesn't roll away. He goes down and he ends up not rolling away. That gives the penalty, and here we go again, another scrum. And I think that Khalifi needs to stay square. Scott Green's got to look at this. He should be looking and saying, hey, the loose head prop is losing it. He's on the wrong side. He needs to get back on the other side. But it's another scrum really wearing down the pack of Seattle.
So for 10 minutes, Seattle Seawolves will be without their halfback, Siniulo, very experienced halfback as well. He's there, positioned next to Boyer. They shift across to the side. And it's a free kick here for San Diego.
So right there, San Diego, because they were concerned about the drive, and so what they did was they drove a little bit earlier. But if we go back to the penalty with Phil Mack, so they say rugby is a game that's played for people that are on their fit. So Phil Mack comes in and makes the tackle, and what he has to do is after he makes the tackle, he has to get away and allow that ball to be played. But you can see he's holding on right there, trying to prevent that ball. He actually used his hands to pull it back on his side. You can't do that in a ruck at the contest.
Yeah, Phil Mack, well, he's a player that got 2 rings actually recently, one from the championship that they won, and got married as well. So Phil Mack will watch from the sideline. It's probably a lot drier there as his team, though, struggles here with scrum time. Gaffney, they can't push this one over, but they get a penalty try. Collapsing is the call from referee Green, and it's San Diego who come with the first 5, and it happens at scrum time. They'll get an automatic 7.
And you can see how excited the San Diego pack is. They gave up, I think it was 6 penalty tries last year to the Seattle Seawolves, and here they go saying, hey, we're a different pack, we're a different team. And you can see Khalifi, he comes in, and you can see him on the right-hand side of the scrum, and watch him turn in. See how his hips come out, and he turns in, he doesn't stay square. It's a very, very good call there, and 7 points, and well-deserved.
Scott Murray, Rob Hoadley and Zach Test, the coaching staff, will be elated with that effort. And they up front, the hard men, Sylvia, Mio and Ryan, were fantastic up front. We're going to take a quick break. Stay with us. It's 7-0. San Diego lead. The Seattle Seawolves. We'll be right back.
No, look, it's the old scrum, mate, so I didn't pick anyone out. Yeah. You got the reward like we talked about, yeah, fair enough, yeah. Okay, Teague, are we good to carry on? Are we good to carry on? Hold on, we're on break, mate, we're still on break.
Well, Torero Stadium, the crowd that's here in the rain have erupted. It's 7-0, a penalty try to them. They lead the champion Seattle Seawolves from 2018. Restart coming down to Big Lou Stanfield. We've had just under 30 minutes played so far in the first half. And it's San Diego that have dominated territory and possession. Halfback Boyer goes deep this time. Rickett Hutting is there, lets it bounce. The number 8 ranging up on the outside, drifts across field. Teo dives on him and Duplessis went low. They've turned things over. Ball is available for the Legion. Difficult one to take on that far side. Lou Stanfield does well to clean it up. The veteran. SDLvSEA, very active so far. Anosa at first receiver. Played sevens for the USA as well. He can certainly step. He shovels it along though. He gets Sylvia. San Diego playing as a cohesive unit this week. A lot of errors this time around. Last week in round 1 against Rugby United New York. Still available, and also quick hands. Justin Vetamaloa gets the one-handed pass away. And that one is drifted forward, says referee Green.
So immediately the Legion get out of their own half with a great kick by Boyer. They've had 87% of the possession. They're dominating this game. Like you've said, Dallin, we haven't called many of the Seawolves names except on defense, but you can see how messy this game is. Even though it's messy, you can see the Legion trying to move the ball, trying to pass that ball under pressure.
The Legion have 7 international players, kept internationals in their side. 2 in the forwards, 5 in the backs. And of course, scrum time. This is where the penalties happen back inside the 22.
So the scrum was interesting because Paddy Ryan was talking to the referee about getting a yellow card after that last penalty try. He says, we've got the advantage, you called full penalties. Someone needs to be warned and get a yellow card.
So the scrum off is Peter Tabera goes in to help out in this position. He's filled in there before. Siniula still at first receiver. There it comes out to Shalom right now. Barton, hard line from him. George Barton, known as King George. They lose it though. Tupualo has it, and then he spills it. The pill's going everywhere today. And there it is for Turner. Siniula's dropped back inside the 22. It gets charged down.
No advantage.
Well, the players need to make some adjustments to this weather. You can see they're trying to offload. Everyone's just trying to do a little bit too much. And in particular, Dallin, they're not protecting the ball in contact. And I think that's going to be... We went about the first 15 minutes without a lot of scrums, and now we're seeing a lot of them.
Let's go down to Stacey. Something about Lou Stanfield for us.
Yeah, Dallin, you mentioned how he's a veteran for this team. And one thing about his game, he says every time he touches the ball, he wants to lead by example. And that is something he is very good at doing. His teammates have an easy person to look up to when it comes to work ethic, attitude, and production on the field.
Well, thanks, Stacey. Plus, he's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu sensation, they say. I would not want to mess with Big Lou on or off the rugby field. He really has that mongrel attitude that's needed for the forward pack. As the Seawolves hook this one back. Siniula keeps it in hand with Barton. A switch to Rasalika, cuts back in. Rasalika, captain 15s and 7s for Fiji. They have knocked that one on and trying to do a bit too much, as you said, Pete.
Well, I mean, remember, they don't have their kicker, so Peter Tiberio's not going to be a kicker. Shalom Suniola's not going to be a kicker. The only thing that they're going to look to do is to go forward. I think using Rasalika as a battering ram, but they need to hold on to the ball. I want to see two hands on the ball, controlling the contact and making sure they can hold on to it. Both teams right now really struggling to do that.
Certainly are. Well, Rasalika, interesting story. He was a farmer back in Fiji, and then he applied his trade and all over the world, and has been in the United States for several years. He's played with the Adivus All-Stars, his Rugby Selects, 3 national championships and 7s with Seattle. Rasalika is a danger man, the man from Suva. But again, they've got to get in the ball with a bit of space to operate. Siniula on defense goes to scrum off, and Tabero shifts back to the wing. They switch things for attack and early engage, so it's a free kick here for the Seawolves.
Paddy Ryan's going to be upset about that.
Siniula taps quickly, he knows there's space back. It's a good kick, still in the field of play. Inosa, his clearance kick, finds some good territory.
And finally, Seattle have an attacking platform. This is probably the second time in the whole game they've actually had a set piece in the opposition half where they can play. But what's so difficult, Dallin, is when a rugby ball gets wet, it's like a bar of soap, right? So it becomes very, very difficult to hold on to. And that's why 2 hands and protecting the ball away from the defender.
First time we see the Seawolves. They're inside the 22.
Advantage.
Advantage for Siniula, the captain. Switches it back to Rasalika. Another big, strong tackle. And here's the original penalty. Choice now for the visiting team.
Collapsing. Have a number?
So it looks like pulling down in the line out.
Collapsing,
Number one, he said, is collapsing in the line out. And I would take the point. You've got Brock Stoller. Looks like they're going to make that choice.
What's that call? Points.
Haven't been in the half very much. Let's get there. Let's make it, despite the dominance of the Legion, this would make it 7-3. They would be pretty happy with that.
They certainly would be. Stoller, of course. You were there last week, called the game. What a champion performance he had last week. Completely different conditions this time.
Absolutely. The thing for me about Brock Stoller is that he's a big body, and he's able to, when he gets the ball and he gets going, he's very, very difficult to handle. But he has a sweet strike. He missed one last week that I thought was one that he could make, but I think this one's well within his range.
26-year-old last season was the 5th top point scorer in Major League Rugby. Originally started his game at Kitsilano Secondary School in Vancouver, and then made the Canadian national team in 2016. He's got 16 caps and 69 points for Canada. First kicking attempt here for the number 14. Stoller. Both parents' PE teachers inspired him to coach and play the sports he loves. He chips this one towards the uprights. It's over! Wonderful kick from Brock Stoller brings the score 7-3 to the Legion after 35 minutes.
And while we spent most of the half talking about Shalom Suniola not being a kicker, it was his vision from the free kick that gave them the territory that allowed them to earn that penalty kick. And he didn't strike it that well, but he did enough. And I think Seattle, I think Richie Walker's going to be happy if he can go in 7-3, make some adjustments in the game, because they've been playing pretty much into the wind. I think that's one of the reasons why they've been struggling on the territory.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned Richie Walker much yet in the broadcast. Only recently became the head coach through visa issues for Anton Willman, coached the USA Women's Sevens team. Rasalika off the restart, does well. The Seawolves inspired after those points. Khalifi takes it into the traffic. Played with the Pacific Rovers and the Seattle Saracens for several years, and Suniula's kick is a complete shocker.
Very, very difficult for a right-footed kicker under pressure to be able to kick to the left. You're very, very likely to pull it, especially someone who's not normally a fly half.
And here they go, Mikey Teo for the line is away! San Diego, that is legendary! Mikey Teo, take a bow!
Wow, some quick thinking right there. You do not have to wait on a line out. If you are on the mark and you throw it in straight, you don't have to wait for the other team to set. So Mikey Teo said these guys are getting over a little bit early. And Scott Green just checking with the touch judge to make sure and said, are you okay with it? You can see Mikey Teo right there on the mark, throws it to Paddy Ryan as the tight head prop. The assist going in, he is having one heck of a half. I think he earned the penalty try. He should have 2 assists. 2 assists in the game. Great thinking, and I think that's well deserved by the Legion. It's really earned it, but it took that kind of inspiration to be able to get over the line against this strong Seattle defense.
Mikey Teo, quick thinking. Paddy Ryan is having the game of his life so far in Major League Rugby. 2 tries to nothing, and they caught the Seawolves napping. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Boyer takes over the kicking duties from injured Joe Peterson. Lovely strike from Nick Boyer. And he smiles his way to the halfway line. It's 14 points to 3. The Legion up against the Seawolves after 37.
So we talked about Richie Walker. He would have been happy. I think Rob Hoadley, the Legion coach, is happy now.
Stacey, reaction from the bench.
Oh, he was incredible when he made that try, Tao was. And, you know, he didn't play because of that ACL injury. You mentioned that earlier, Dallin. You should have seen the bench react to that wise play by Mikey, man. They were so excited up off the bench. No more louder than Nate Augsburger, though. He jumped out, had his arms in the air, and screamed, "Yeah, that's the way we do it, boy." It was so exciting to see.
And they tried it again. He was going fast again. So when the ball is... So on those kickoff, it didn't go 10, but it did go out of bounds. So actually, you have a choice. You have the choice. You have three choices. You can get the line out, you can get a re-kick, or you can choose the scrum. And so they said, hey, let's go with the line out. But I think Scott Green said someone had already chosen the scrum.
San Diego being very creative here at home. They will get a scrum, but it's 2 kick errors that have put San Diego in good positions as well. And you mentioned that we have a problem in this game, and it's really proving in the first 40. So scrum for the Legion. Attacking options right and left. Jasa Vetamaloa and Mikey Teo on the right-hand side. On the left, JP Duplessis. And Tota Vasau, in fact, it's Enosa takes it to the line. Duplessis with him. Tupualo's on that left wing, but they come to Paddy Ryan. Big Paddy Ryan drives it upfield. Devon Short, who was the winner of the next Olympic hopeful, sponsored by the US Olympic Committee, playing less than 3 years and doing really well. Stolatau comes to make it a big hit, but then falls on the wrong side. And it's Sylvia was the one that had the carry. Nasaganga. Goose is on the outside. Rasalika wraps him up. Boyer just having a look up. Finds Muir from Durban. A lot of great white sharks in the shores there of Durban, South Africa. Charge down, it's play on, it's anybody's game, and offside is the call.
So, offside.
7, you must roll as well.
So, referee talking to the Seawolves. So, when you're the tackler, after the tackle happens, you have to get out of the way and let the ball be played. And Taylor Crumroy was there, not rolling away. And actually, he called Vili Tolatau and said, you have to roll away as well. Last play of the game, I think they're going to take the 3 points.
They have signaled for the uprights, and it's Nick Boyer who steadies this one.
I think with his last strike, that was great, but this is a 40-meter kick. He's obviously a good kicker. As you said, he's played a little bit of fly half, but this would be a great way for the Legion to finish a dominant first half.
Nick Boyer, Eagles debut in 2018 November against Romania. The former Denver Barbarian, now home in San Diego, eyes this one up. Chips this to the right-hand side. And that'll bring the halftime whistle. And San Diego Legion, 2 brilliant tries in the first 40 and just a penalty from the Seawolves.
Well, I mean, it was a dominant first half, both in terms of territory and in terms of opportunity. The only opportunity Seattle had was the one kick from Shalom Suniola, which came from the penalty, from the free kick, and that was it.
So we're going to take a quick break and we'll return with highlights from Torero Stadium in Southern California. It's San Diego 14, Seawolves 3.
I can't hear her. Okay, hello, 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 you got me? I'm not hearing you at this moment. Joe Peterson, you were brilliant last week. You had 18 of the 23 points out right now with injury. What's going on?
Yeah, just I think a bit of protocol. Got a head knock, so it's I think protocol just to check if there's any concussion symptoms. And yeah, outside of that, team's doing well. So despite the weather, it's going not too bad.
I'm sorry, we got to do one more. We just had a major hit.
Oh, okay. Okay, okay. Hello, hello.
One more time, anytime you want.
I did.
Sorry, I missed you. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure I should have gotten it. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Joe Peterson was brilliant in the first game last week, 18 of the 23 points, had a bit of a knock. Tell us what happened in this game.
Yeah, so far I think the boys have done really well. Despite the weather, they've come out and they've, put pressure on the scrums, got that penalty try, and then also worked another beautiful quick throw for another try. For myself, I got a bit of a head knock, so it's just protocol to check and see if there's any concussion symptoms. And outside of that, hopefully we've got another good second half coming up.
Looks like it's shaping up to be that way, and the only thing that matters is your health. Thank you so much.
100%. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Cheers. Thanks. Thank you.
It's the San Diego Legion that leads Seattle at the break, 14-3 here in the Golden State. And Stacey Pates is with the injured Legion fly-off right now.
Joe Peterson was brilliant in the first game last week, 18 of the 23 points, had a bit of a knock. Tell us what happened in this game.
Yeah, so far I think the boys have done really well. Despite the weather, they've come out and they've, put pressure on the scrums, got that penalty try, and then also worked another beautiful quick throw for another try. For myself, I got a bit of a head knock, so it's just protocol to check and see if there's any concussion symptoms. And outside of that, hopefully we've got another good second half coming up.
Looks like it's shaping up to be that way, and the only thing that matters is your health. Thank you so much.
100%. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
And we'll have more for you from a wet Torero Stadium where San Diego up 14-3 against Seattle after the first 40 minutes.
That's enough. Yep, bye.
Major League Rugby and the San Diego Legion are brought to you by Nelson Securities, committed to helping you improve your long-term financial success. Lux Travel Management, official travel agency of the San Diego Legion. Travel done right. FPI Management, find your next home at fpiliving.com. FPI Management, culture grounded in heart. Plenty of highlights here in the first 40 at Torero Stadium. 2 tries to 1, 2 tries to nothing. In fact, San Diego Legion lead, and it was this penalty try right from the start that put the pressure on the Seawolves. 7-0.
Well, it was really dominant by San Diego, but they really struggled to turn that possession and territory into points because, Dallin, the field conditions here are really rough. Fields in Southern California are not designed to take the rain that we've seen today, and you can see water everywhere, handling is a problem, ball placement is a problem, and honestly, I think one of the challenges has been the looking after the ball in contact, just like Gaffney right there, and you can see here, ball placement, poor, balls bouncing out all over the place, and that is what prevented San Diego from getting more points. One moment by Seattle in the half, they walk away with 3 points, and then quick thinking by Mikey Teo to Paddy Ryan, and he slides all the way in and all the way up to the wall. Wow, that tells you how wet it is here.
Up next, second half action here in San Diego, with the home side lead Seattle Seawolves by 14 points to 3.
grass soaked.
A warm welcome to our viewers from around the country and those overseas as the Legion lead the Seattle Seawolves by 14-3 after 40 minutes at Torero Stadium. I'm Dallas Stafford, joining commentary by Pete Steinberg, and these conditions have certainly affected play in the first half.
Absolutely, lots of challenges with holding onto the ball in contact in the wet.
So the reserves here, impact will be needed off the bench. Massive units in the tight forwards, four of them in the frame of the Pifoletti brothers and Aaron Mitchell and Tui Halamaka. There's talent in the back line when needed as well. And look for Nate Orsberger coming off wearing 22. He could have a big impact in this clash.
I think off the bench for Seattle, I wouldn't be surprised to see some early changes, particularly in the scrum. You've got Kellen Gordon and John Hayden, both very experienced Major League Rugby players. Eric Duchal, who was a starter last year and brings some heft, and JP Smith, the young scrum half, and he has a big foot. I think we'll see him pretty early coming on for Phil Mack and let him use his boots to gain some advantage in this second half.
It's match 3 between these two teams since Major League Rugby began in 2018. Seattle won the first round at Starfire Stadium last year, 39-23. And in the championship playoffs, they defeated San Diego 38-24 at Infinity Park in Glendale, Colorado. While right now, it's a reversal of fortunes. And the Legion, well, they have 11 players that are missing from their squad. Those through injuries and, of course, some visa issues as well. They will kick off from right to left. It's Tyanosa in red for the Legion, and the Seawolves in green on the left to receive this second half. The whistle is in pink with Scott Green. He loves spending his holidays in Australia, he said, one of the favorite countries he's visited on his rugby travels. And the Texan just working out his clock there. Yellow card for Phil Mack in the first half, and San Diego Legion, Mikey Teo, number 14, he has been sublime in the first half. He volunteers at a homeless shelter, he coaches the community, and on the field, isn't he outstanding? Eagle number 476.
So it looks like San Diego is missing a player. They've only got 14 out there, so I think we might be waiting to see if there's a player. Here's a player coming down. I can't quite make out who it is, but someone coming on late.
Well, that's definitely going to be a fine after this game. It's Drew Gaffney. And just need to get a bit of extra black tape on those armbands of his. He's ready to go. They've been fired up, the Ford pack, in this first stanza. They're 0-1 with 1 point on the standings. Meanwhile, Seawolves, they have 4 points with a win last week. They beat the Glendale Raptors 20 points to 18, and that is not the best looking restart. Needs to go the 10 meters, it doesn't, but it's played by Vili Tolotau, so it's play on for the Seawolves. He's knocked it on. Perhaps should have left that one.
So Vili Tolotau showing a little bit of his inexperience. If you remember, it was his poor decision to offload that led to the penalty try. And here, when the ball doesn't go 10, it's a choice of the receiving team. If they pick it up and play it, it's play on. If they let it go dead, then it comes back to a scrum. He decided to play on, and I think you can see the wetness right there. The ball's not bouncing for the drop kick.
It gives a real chance here for San Diego. They get possession back. 2018 San Diego, the only side to beat the Glendale Raptors in the regular season. And they defeated the Utah Warriors. Both those two teams made the semifinals. They're really stacked with talent, especially with their new additions as well.
Absolutely, and the new additions are things like Paddy Ryan, and he's really causing problems to Oli Khalifi, who's an experienced World Cup veteran for the US. And it's been a game changer for this game. But look out for the Tupaloa on the wing. He's coming across, looking to stand near Ty Anoza. He might be someone that's going to come off the blindside wing, cause some problems for the midfield of Seattle.
That's right, Tupualu, American Samoan player, just 22 years old, in the USA 7 squad. Notre Dame college product, and with Balmond Shaw as well. Enosa, also Balmond Shaw hero. He goes for the cross kick to his old teammate, and now current teammate, Mikey Taylor gets the ball away on the outside to Rogers. Flicks it back in, Duplessis can't handle. And they've knocked that one on, but exciting stuff there from the Legion, and they don't care if it's raining.
Well, Tayanosa really showing what he can do. He's a multi-talented player. He was a young star when he went in 2011 to the World Cup, but it's a great kick. Mikey Teo showing no rust whatsoever in his first game back for a year, and Duplessis just not quite able to handle it. But I think that it's the kicking game that's going to really be important for both of these teams, and even with the knock on there, Dallin, I think the Legion are okay being down in this part of the field.
They certainly are. It's a place they want to camp out here, and it was Jasa Veramalua that threw that pass. 6'5", the man from Nadrunga in Fiji. He's a dangerous weapon. Perhaps need to take the contact there in these conditions. Seawolves. Scrum starts crumbling. They get a penalty.
This time it was Nathan Silva. So again, we talked about keeping your hips square, which means your hips have to be pushing down the field. Scott Green said, hey, both sides. This time Nathan Silva, the loose head for the Legion, turned in. They call that boring. So board in gives them an unfair advantage and a great kick to the halfway, an opportunity for the Seawolves to play in the Legion half.
Well, it certainly is a big difference too. They get the line out then of that penalty instead of them just kicking for touch and giving possession to the San Diego Legion. And not a bad kick from Shalom Sinula. Takes it to the halfway line.
And I think a really great point there, Dallin. There was no need for Sylvia to really push that one.
Tap down off the top to Mac. Tolatau cuts back in. Rips free from the first. It was Paddy Ryan getting involved yet again. Tolatau, the championship MVP from 2018. It's loose. Stanford, what skills from him on the ground. Duplessis and Rusalika throws him to the deck. It's gone down heavy. Veramalua this time does well to keep possession for the Legion. Boya chips it over the top. 3 players there wearing Seawolves colours. Stoller does well to get out of trouble. Tips Tabero at halfback, helping out Phil Mack. Now Khalifi at a standing start, so they lose a little bit of territory in ground. Mack, slow ball, goes high, not very far. Been knocked on. There is with Teo. Bit scrappy all around, but it will give Legion possession around the 10-metre mark.
Again, the Seawolves not able to hold on to the ball long enough to be able to really set up an attacking platform. Have turned the ball over, some kicking back and forth. Again, look at the conditions. It's still pouring with rain. There's water everywhere. Really difficult to get that ball up. And Phil Mack, not known for a great kicker, just put that one a little bit short. Boyer goes up. It's knocked all over the place, and the referee said it was knocked on by the Seawolves.
Yeah, Nick Boyer, well, he's one of those 6 players. Mikey Teo is another one, the Legion players. They went out to the Junior SEA Foundation, the annual shop with the jock. They spent the holiday just this past with Children's, the Boys and Girls Club of San Diego, getting out to show their faces to the community. And a lot of those kids have come this weekend to go watch their Legends play right now. It might be a bit wet, so they're indoors right now in the basketball field, the Jenny Craig facility there. But they are here to support the players in red. Up 14 points to 3. More possession. Paddy Ryan anchoring the scrum up front. Been told to use it. Tupualu comes down and Boyer picks and plays his way. 1-on-1, so there wasn't much there. Brock Stoller does well to pick it up and then loses it.
Well, I think a lot of frustration here. So if you're the tight, these are the sorts of games in rugby. There's a bit of a difference between a different kind of person that plays in the pack in the forwards and plays in the backs. And the forwards at the moment turn around to the backs and say, stop dropping the ball. These scrums take 8 people working together. It is an exhausting exercise. It actually drains the energy from getting around the field. I think Nick Boyer, that's the second time we've seen him make a late change to a tactical decision that didn't work out. Play the call, just play simple rugby in these conditions.
Especially with the full back line ready to go, and North are eager to get his hands on the pill. So Phil Mack will feed the scrum for the Seawolves. Mack nominated for the Seattle Male Sports Star of the Year. Player coach in the national championship side. Barton loses that. Duplessis gets this. Great work here from the inside centre. JP Duplessis just brought down inside the 22. Veramalua. Great skills. Boyer has it now. They're over the line. Ball in the air. Green and red jerseys everywhere. including a pink one. San Diego still have this. Miraculous. Tolataho, try-saving tackle from him, pushes them back. As they pick and drive again to San Diego. Boya now shifts it to Inosa. He goes wide, he knows there's space. Teo has gone backwards. Mikey Teo steps into 3 defenders. Just outside the 22, Chris to Rory. Rory's trained with the USA 7 squad. Gaffney. Just absorbing the tackles here, building the phases of San Diego. To Rory again. Does well to get the ball free to Ryan. Paddy Ryan. Good support. As Inosa throws a dummy and there's obstruction there. Play on, they say. Duplessis there in support. Legion within 5. Teo scored 1 already today. Muir. Big strong contact on him. Gaffney goes yet again. Forwards piling in. And now to Inosa. Dummy there from Rogers. Tackles, though, are coming in thick and fast from the Seawolves. Lou Stanfield. Well supported by his teammates. They've really upped the ante from last weekend. Kenny Nasaganga. The Seawolves holding strong so far. Boya. They're trying to force this turnover. Red jerseys arriving.
Hands away!
Just camping out here. They may need some umbrellas there to keep dry. Underneath the poles.
Off your feet, come.
Off the feet. The penalty will be called. And it's right in front of the poles. It's worth 3 points if they want it.
Wow, some amazing. Oh.
Mark's here. You went off your feet, you continue to play the ball.
So, penalty, they try to take it fast, but they need to take the 3 points. They take the 3 points, they're 2 try scores up, and that's what they're going to do. This was a drop ball by Barton, and you can see Duplessis right here. Great play. What a tackle by Staller. And watch this handling by Veremaralua. Right there, that's the Fijian in you. They're used to catching that ball. And this is what got them all the way down near the line. And then it was remarkable defense by the Seawolves, but also remarkable ball retention by the Legion. Darren, they hold that ball over and over and over again in these conditions. That's really high-class stuff.
Well, it really is, especially after watching the match last week. A lot of unforced errors around that. Here they piled in, they committed the numbers, rightly so, because that Seawolves defense is absolutely superb. But just a better Malua. Well done. And this kick is through the uprights. It's 17 points to 3. First points in the second half belong to Nick Boya.
Yeah, that's fine.
And they'll switch things out after 50 minutes.
And I think the Seawolves, Richie Walker's going to need to make some changes. 2 converted tries. They haven't even looked like scoring 1 try. They've really struggled to play in these conditions. And so I think he's going to start going to the bench. JP Smith, I think, is already on, and I think that's going to be a real difference for this team.
Sinula goes deep to Inosa. Inosa takes his time to line this one as he drives it downfield.
So I don't think that is JP Smith that's on, but there's definitely some people from the bench. We'll find out who that is.
That's red one.
Deep kick allowed them to play, and now the Legion find themselves near their line trying to play their way out.
Yeah, that might be Cole Van Haan. He's listed as 22, but he's slipped on 21 for us. And substitutes coming there on the field as well. It's Whakaosi Befaletti, the 23-year-old from San Jose, originally from the Kingdom of Tonga. Comes in the front row for the San Diego Legion. Both sides going to the bench. Knocked down there for Khalifi. Front row forward does well to keep it for the Seawolves. Beautiful loop around. First time we've really seen them with the ball in hand. Brad Tucker, the 26-year-old, play with the Waikato side in New Zealand and Taranaki as well. But over this one, beautifully. Is that Paddy Ryan yet again? Boyer gets the bouncing kick over to Matt Turner. Turner played a lot of rugby with the Tiger Rugby Academy, toured around the globe with them, and a mark is called there from fullback Rogers.
Well, interesting mark. He was going backwards, but he actually had the time if he wanted to keep playing. But this does allow the Seawolves, even with this kick, because it's a free kick, it means that the Legion gain the territory that lose the ball, and here the Legion have again another chance to hold on, and as you said, or to get the ball and set an attacking platform. And as you said, Dallin, we haven't seen enough of that. And that time was the first time we've seen them hold on to the ball for a few phases.
Yeah, Phil Mack in picture there. Won't be happy so far in this first 52 minutes with his side.
Tough, yep. Get the boys on the back.
Looks like both props coming off for the Seawolves, and Gordon and Callan, so Gordon and Hayden are on.
Fresh faces for the side as Tolatahu drops down the hammer. He's hit with a ferocious contact. They knew he'd be key at the breakdown, so San Diego targeting the big throw. Rickard Hutting hasn't had much room to operate. Siniula, dummy pass, throws it over the top to Turner. Better stuff here. Stoller on the outside, those well marked. Veramaloa, better watch out. He comes in with a high shot.
Advantage.
Cutting back in yet again is Tucker. Three brothers play professional rugby, so what a sporting family he comes from. Matt comes to the short side. Hutting, good flick pass from the South African. And now Stoller with the meters. Brock Stoller did it all last week. He takes play inside the 22. Yet again, Tucker.
Hands away.
Legion, Siniula. Floats one up in midfield.
Tackle.
The tackle needed to be made and did. Siniula now goes wide. Rusalika drifts across field. Donatello gets the bump on in Nelson for the line. The big number 7, did he put it down? San Diego are climbing for a knock-on, but Stoller wants to celebrate.
I didn't have a clear plan either, so I'm going to go back for the penalty there. So, no try here.
So no try checked in. He said he didn't see a good grounding, but we were playing an advantage. One of the great laws that we have in rugby, which is the referee, if he sees an infringement, it was originally, I think, a high hit, and then it was an offside. And he said, with the advantage, you keep playing, and if you basically, from this position, if you don't score,
offside,
we're going to give you a penalty. So what San Diego need to do is they need to kick this ball to touch, they need to win the line out and drive it in and make this a game.
7 offside, high tackle on you before.
Veramaloa was one pink for the high tackle.
Yeah.
Sounds like Devon Short was offside. Oh, wow. I think, did he kick that through? He kicked it through, so really disappointing. So here we can see Tartau really fighting hard, good body position, getting over, and the question is, did he get it down? It looked like he may have knocked it on, so that was a good call by the referee. But then we said kicking's going to be key. Shalom Sunialo had the penalty, but instead of getting it to touch, he kicked it into the try zone, which means it's a 22 dropout. Or it's a choice of a 22 dropout or a scrum. Those are the choices. This is unusual for me to choose the scrum, Dallin. I would choose the 22 dropout and get some territory, but as we've seen, drop kicks, where the ball hits the ground when you kick it, which you have to do from a 22, has been tough.
It's treacherous conditions out there. 55 minutes gone. The Legion leads 17 points to 3. And this is round 2 in Major League Rugby. And the scrum is solid yet again from the Legion. And then the shove comes up from the Seawolves. Look at this. Tremendous stuff. And they get the penalty. High fives from the forwards, and that'll G them up.
Well, so great work by Gordon and Hayden coming in. The props, great decision by Richie Walker to bring them in. That gets them the penalty back. This time Simeona does not make the error, and Legion had an opportunity to clear but didn't take it, and now this line out is important. So you'll watch, look at the drive. The ball was at the back, but you can just see as they took the pressure, the Legion allowed them, what we call wheel, which is they start moving to the side, and the referee said, nope, you can't do that.
Stefan Kutsia from Paul Boys High, professional rugby player at 19 years old. 10 years, but he's thrown it to Gaffney. San Diego pinched this one.
Yeah. Wait.
And it's robbery from the home team. Enosa juggles and steps, slips, goes himself. Tolatahu meets him with a Christmas present. And it's a penalty for the San Diego Legion, who can breathe easy.
Right there, it looks like it was Nakatini not rolling away. He doesn't seem very happy with that. So difficult to be able to control the ball in these conditions. Surprised that it was a kick, it was a pass and not a box kick. And you can see as the tackle comes in by Tolatahu, you can see Nakatini, there he is, his shaved head not rolling away and making the ball available. And just a little bit too easy. And you can see Boyer kicking that and then grabbing his leg. In this cold conditions, we're going to see some cramp coming in. People don't drink as much as they should.
Well, he also slipped as well as he kicked that too. Tricky times.
I'm talking subs.
And more subs coming in, fresh legs. Big Eric Duchel will take the field, known as a beast, wearing 20. And that could be, is that JP Smith coming in? The Queen's College Boys High School at University of Pretoria replaces Phil Mack. The big moves with 24 minutes to go.
JP Smith has a great foot and a nice pass. It will allow them to play a little bit faster, but isn't so good in space as Phil Mack is on attack.
Yeah. He's on song with his back of the tail line out throw to Gaffney. He played rugby in Japan. Seasoned veteran.
Hey.
So two.
Don't go in. Don't go in. Don't go in. I'm here. Thank you.
I'm certainly listening to the referee. I'm not joining anything in there.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to hear what he said. He said, don't join in. So 2 penalties by the Seawolves have really relieved some pressure on the Legion. That time was pulling it down. The first time was not rolling it away. These are penalties they do not need to give up. But it gives the Legion again a chance to clear their lines, get up to halfway and set an attacking platform.
Shalom.
You saw stepping up there was Carl Rogers taking over the kicking duties. Boyer still looking around a bit. So let's see what these fresh legs can do. We've got John Hayden on, as you said, Kellen Gordon, Eric Duchel and JP Smith for the Seawolves. Well, they trail by 14 points.
Devon Short has been their target, but they might go to the experienced Lou Stanfield.
Goes over the top. And sliding, and it's Paddy Ryan who comes up with it. Playing it first receiver. Vedamalua hit hard. The ball's loose. Hit through, and Nosa goes to clean it up. Ty Nosa
Play on.
does well. He's the one sporting that rather interesting looking hairstyle.
The ball's there. Stay out. Stay.
Vedamalua just getting friendly with Barton.
Stay out. Thank you.
A lot of international cap players on both these sides. Seawolves actually has 3 Canadians and 3 USA cap players combining together. Legion spent a fair amount of time in their own 22 during the second half. Difficult kick, and Tabera does well to field this. And then throws it along the ground. Hutting, quick hands, good soccer skills here, and San Diego women's soccer team will be enjoying that one from Brock Stoller. This is their home ground. Duchel, big contact on Eric Duchel, the man from the Air Force, the captain in the Air Force, in fact. It's getting messy there, slipping around.
So that's what's called an accidental offside. So the ball came off one Seattle player, it hit a player in front of him, so he's offside, but it's accidental. I think as this game continues, Dallin, we're going to see more and more little niggles, little pushes. In these conditions, it is very, very challenging. And so players, they feel under a lot of pressure.
Number 22, Nate Osberger. He turned 29 years old 2 days ago, so happy belated birthday as the 21 capped USA scrum half / fly half takes the field. He will take up his position on the wing right now. Man out of All Blue of New York and the Northeast Academy originally, and trading the cold weather for a little bit of sunshine / rain here in San Diego.
Well, I have to say I was really surprised with Paddy Ryan the last time they got the ball when he moved the ball wide. Legion don't need to do that. I know they're used to playing in good conditions, but they need to hold on to the ball, play tight and play territory to close this game out.
Very steady foot boy to pick and go himself. Hutting has him. And now Osberger didn't want to be on the wing for too long. It's too cold out there as he finds the big unit Pefaletti. His father played for Tonga. Boya does well to clean up. It was loose. Tolatau just being a nuisance around there. Horsberger shapes up for a kick to Tiberio. Drops it. Still playing because it's went backwards. He goes down the middle channel to Kai Inosa. Spots a gap on the left-hand side. There's nobody home. Chases in Horsberger. It just sits up, and they slide into touch with the ball. San Diego want to go quickly.
Wanted to go quickly, but it wasn't their line out. So Nate Horsberger steps in, shows his experience with his kick. But look at this one. Again, Tyanosa sees the space. Horsberger's coming in. He wants to be able to come and get the ball. Isn't quite, oh, that's pretty dangerous right there, but that's certainly great camera work by our guys on the sideline. They're going to be a bit in cold and wet at the end of the day.
A bit of water polo going on there. Brock Stoller.
90 seconds, 90 seconds.
He's certainly not scared.
Yeah, the last counter rug was pretty good timing, and then the ball was out and they just came up on him. Yep.
We're going to take a quick hydration break. Stay with us. It's 17 points to 3. The Legion lead the Seattle Seawolves here in rainy San Diego.
Battery is dying. So, yeah. Stop right on the 20 here. Yeah, it's crappy. Yeah. It's cold. You see a thumbs up for our TV. No, time. There's still time's off, guys. Yeah. Wait, time's still off.
And back to the live action here. It's the Seawolves that are defending their own goal line. They trail by 14 points here in the second half. San Diego will put pressure here.
There's no gap.
Short numbers. Watch for Pefaletti up front. Big, strong unit. And he is up against John Hayden, member of the USA Selects for the America's Pacific Challenge in Montevideo, Uruguay. They go to the back, well taken there by Rickard Hutting. And now Duchel. Duchel is angry. He wants to get wet. He's achieved that. Box kick is slightly tipped there, but it's play on anybody's ball. Duplessis, the center, claims this for San Diego. Great forward momentum for the home team. Horsberger at first receiver, slips and puts it to the boot. It's on the ground for Nasagenge. Hacks it through, they leave it behind. Good skills to Terori. Legion, numbers to the left-hand side for the Seawolves. Try to turn this one over. Pefaletti off the bench and Ryan with the offload. Horsberger snipes around. The Seawall held strong. So far in the second half, conceded a penalty try and a try against Mikey Teo in the first 40. Terori does well to keep the legs driving. Play with the San Diego Mustangs, and then it's hacked through. Horsberger has got to go and collect this. He leaves it behind. Brock Stoller kicks it ahead. Good pick up here from Carl Rogers, fullback who captained the University of Arizona 2016 and 2017. As the Seawolves try to turn this around, they're desperate to get hands on ball. They do that. Seattle, great skill from them. JP Smith gets Hutting. Hutting puts it to the boot. Rickard Hutting, an open trial line in front, scoops, slides towards it and pushes it back beautifully. It's still with Stoller. Seawolves, and then off their feet, Mikey Teo is coming in like a worm.
Well, all of this is coming out of errors. There was a turnover by the Seawolves, so by the Legion that allowed the Seawolves to hack again, and then there was another turnover which allowed another ball to be hacked. The Legion just need to hold on to the ball, but the Seawolves have to take this opportunity. This is the second time in this half they've been down within 5. They're going to kick to the... they're going to choose a scrum. Well, they had one dominant scrum It's going to be really interesting to see the pressure they can put on here, Dallin.
These conditions you mentioned suiting them. And let's go down to Stacey about Seattle's frustrations.
Dallin, you mentioned earlier you saw how Eric Duchel screamed as he was getting ready to play. Well, at least I saw the scream. Maybe you didn't, but you definitely referenced that he was angry and ready to get down and dirty. There is a lot of frustration on the bench of the Seattle Seawolves because one of the things that we as humans do when we're frustrated, we try to force things, we try to make things happen. And as they see the time ticking down, as they know how badly they want to win on this field away in the rain, something that they're more accustomed to than are the Legion, frustrations are mounting, but they're professionals. They're going to keep it together and they're going to see what happens here.
That's a great point, Stacey. And of course, in these conditions, you have to do the opposite of trying to force it. And that's why they find themselves only with 3 points, even though in the second half down, they've had a much better half. They've had their opportunities, but they are forcing it, and that creates more frustration for them.
Eric Duchel, he's such a talent coming off the bench right now. He's got a black eye already. That could be part of the anger. And he set us national champion in 2012 and 2015. They're going to reset the scrum. Still a lot of time though, 17 minutes to go in this clash.
Shoulder forward, straight line,
the
please.
Seawolves need to get on the board next.
There is a lot of time, but the Seawolves are finding themselves in the right place. And if you remember last time, they gave away 2 penalties and allow the Legion to get out. They have to be patient. They can't force it. Even if the Legion get the ball, let them kick it and stay in their 22.
The hashtag is defend the shield. At Starfire Stadium, 4,500 fans packing it out every single game in the Pacific Northwest. Ball at the back for Hutting. Scrum goes down, but it's there for Smith. JP Smith goes wide. Good ball. Much better width on the attack. Duchel again attacks the line. Takes on Duplessis. The same way they were. Dropping it nice and low. Seawolves with Suniula. The no look on the inside to Storer. They saw that coming. The Tarori. But there's no advantage coming, so back underneath the sticks they go.
The Legion's defense near the line has been really, really strong, but it was offside right there. JP Smith looking to see if it's going to go, but I think they're going to choose another scrum. It's a great attacking platform, but so far the Legion have been able to hold out, both in the scrum and their reset, their rebuilding of the wall, their reset as a tackle happens, they come around and they rebuild their defensive wall down, has been phenomenal, and that's why the Seawolves are finding it so difficult. I think maybe instead of trying to move it wide all the time, the Seawolves want to go through the middle and look to change direction. Legion are doing a great job of getting defenders to that far side and covering the wide space, so maybe coming back to what we call the blind side when you come back is going to be useful.
Let's see how they're set up here. Ricky Harding has that blue scrum cap of his. His father is a famous Springbok. Chris Hutting played for the Boks in 92 to 94 when Nelson Mandela was released from prison. He has it at the back there, Smith. Suniula shifts across to Barton. Rasalika back on the angle. Beats 3 or 4 for the line. Rasalika has scored! Together we hunt! The Seawolves are back!
So we've seen Rasalika run that switch, run back inside. He's run it off Suniola, and that time he ran it off Barton. And the big thing here, Dallin, is he was able to score under the post. And scoring under the post means you get to kick in front of the post. So wonderful scrum. They get the right wheel, good hands. Watch this little offload, comes in, breaks 1 tackle, breaks 2 tackles, and then just a tremendous body position. And Scott Green, what great position to see that put down.
Willie Rasalika from Suva, Fiji, 33/34 years old. He is a player that has dominated the Sevens World Series and international rugby. He played against the All Blacks in 2010, the classic All Blacks for the World 15. A vital try for his side. From in front is successful, so that brings us to a 1-score game. It's 17 points to 10. San Diego Legion lead after 67 minutes, but Seattle have clawed their way back into this.
So every drop kick that we've had has been really difficult because it's so wet. You can see Mikey Teo's literally trying to get the water away, and I think Paddy Ryan just said, kick it deep. just go deep. Let's just play some territory and make the Seawolves go a long way.
He does just that. Tolotau's there. Don't know how he can see with that beautiful mop of hair, and he gets a shoulder from Ryan. Matty Ryan has been the standout forward in both packs today. Suniula can't kick it directly out because they carry that back in. Kearns does well to handle this in slippery conditions, and he goes high. They're going to put his team back on side. Tolotau is everywhere. There he goes on the outside. Big feeling Tolotau. The sidestep which just goes straight into Moya. And then San Diego infringe at the breakdown.
And that all comes from Carl Rogers. We talked about how important kicking was. Carl Rogers' kick was poor. His chase seat, he wasn't able to make the tackle. And Tolotau, when he's in the open field like that, he's difficult to handle. And a lazy penalty right there, putting your hands in the ruck, is giving Seattle a great attacking platform.
JP Smith, the youngster, played with the Blue Bulls from 2013 to 2015 in South Africa. He also played in the Pro 14 with the Southern Kings, puts them down just outside the 22. Another replacement, Scott Dean, wearing 23s on the field as well. New signing out of Central Washington University, the Wildcat. Suniula has it for Barton, who attacks the line. Rasalika, this time they bring him down, no questions asked. Looping around is Hutting. Rickett Hutting. Just short of the 22. Quick ball, and then lost their first touch there for Scott Dean, but there was advantage from referee.
So offside, you can see Scott Green saying off early, which means you have to stay behind the back foot of your ruck before the ball comes out. He said you are off early, and that gives them another attacking platform. These penalties are really killing the Legion. They are not playing smart in these conditions.
They've indicated to have a shot at goal. Brock Stoller from 18 meters out, right in front.
Yeah, I mean, there's 10 points to go. If you're going to play for the win, this is the play that you make. This gives you 3 points, and it allows an unconverted try to win the game for you. Legion have really been on the back foot. They're going to have to change something that they're doing, and I think that something is going to be their kicking game. It's particularly on the kick receipts. They want to hold on to the ball. So I think when the back three, whether it's Teo or Rogers, gets the ball, hold on to it, run it back, play a few phases, and then kick again.
It's Brock Stoller, minute 70. Bachelor of Kinesiology. Puts his right foot back in action. 17-13 the score.
Real gut check time here for the Legion. They've been dominant for most of the game, but they're letting the Seawolves slowly come in. They really need to score next. It can be 3 points, it can be a penalty, it can be a drop kick, but they've got to get down and keep the Seawolves in their half. Don't worry about kicking it back. If they kick to us, let's run it back. Let's set a platform in their half.
It's a different setup from last week. The Legion came from behind against Rugby United New York. They just lost out 25-23 in that occasion. Tolotau gets this one, Devon Short, 7-on-7. Tolotau goes down to the ground. Brock Stoller, 2 penalties in this game. Smith finds Kearns, and Gaffney's in support with Teo. Down the middle of the field. Tolotau is back there. Oh, big collision with Teo. Wolfsburg are told to get away. Seawolves. Again, another aerial bomb. Chasers are there. Good take from Kearns, does well. Duchel has him, rips it free. Duchel, it's available there for the Seawolves. Stoller now. They need to move it across field if they can. Cole Van Haan, 25-year-old from Michigan, as Suniula chips it over Wolfsburger's head. It goes into touch.
Well, great kick there by Suniula, and again, I feel like the Legion are really playing into the hands of the Seawolves by kicking back. That time it was Mike Teo that did it. They need to run it back.
Tolotau was down on the ground. Actually, it was Teo the one that he collided with. You'd think Tolotau would come off best.
Well, if you've seen Mike Teo's legs, you know that he packs a punch, and you can see right there, he comes in and makes the hit, and it looks like it's a leg injury for Vili that's keeping him down. couple of players down actually, Dallin. I think in a, you know, as we said, in a day like today, you just don't drink as much as you normally do when it's a hot day, and I think we're going to see people coming up with cramps. Also, it takes a lot when you're in the mud to actually get going. It takes a lot of energy.
Yep.
Russell Leaker was down, but he's up.
We're going to need a replacement for 7 Green.
So it looks like Tolatau might be replaced, and referee Greeny's there helping out. Well, round 2 action, Major League Rugby. Of course, there are plenty of action this weekend as well. If only 3 games, but some big upsets. Talk us through this, Pete.
Well, I think both of these games were probably an upset. Utah, no one was quite sure what was going to come out of them, but they went down to Austin. They were able to win that game. And Glendale, last year in the final, one of the dominant teams, starts 0-2. Both games are away, but a big upset in NOLA. NOLA look like they're a team that are going to really be challenging for a playoff spot this year.
That's right, Taylor Howden really instrumental in that side. Leadership needed. Buys for Rugby United New York, the Houston SaberCats and the Toronto Arrows. Round 1 scores, well, NOLA beat Toronto 36-31, and Houston scraped to win 21-20 against Austin. So this year expanded 16 matches per team. Used to be 8 last year, now it's 8 home games and 8 away over 19 weeks. And of course we had Rugby United New York and the Toronto Arrows joining, and then next year, 2020, 3 more teams look to take shape.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a real challenge for these teams. I was actually talking to Scott Murray, the Scotland international, who's working here as the forwards coach with the Legion, and I asked him what's different about coaching here, and he's coached professionally in the UK and in France, and he said, we have to remember that this is actually the first full professional season for these players. It's going to be a long season. Physically, it's going to be demanding. It's going to be difficult for the programs and the coaches to be able to manage that. And it's disappointing to see players go down so early here, but because it's a long season, they always have a chance to come back.
Really Tolatalo, the big unit. Well, it reminds me of the Titanic. You'd think this man would never go down. In comes Mikey Teo, and then some other bodies as well getting involved. And we hope he's all right, because he is a player for the future.
Well, I think you can come in. It's a pretty good tackle here, but it looks like when he comes down right there, his leg gets twisted. Looks like it might be his leg. I mean, it's his knee. Hopefully it's nothing too serious and it's just a precaution.
Let's go down to the pitch to Stacey Pates.
As you can imagine, MLR staffed with amazing medical people, and they were right there with them. 5 medical people around Billy right now. And listen, this is a guy that plays at 1 speed. He knows nothing but playing quick and playing with a lot of strength. That is who Billy is. That's also why he was last season's Championship Series MVP. I'm just a few yards away from him. I was standing in the same place as well when he took the hit. It does appear, Pete, to you, to your words, it does appear to be in the leg area. Of course, nothing official right now, but that is the first thing that he started to tend to. Right now, they're just taking the necessary precautions. They brought out the John Deere as well, as you can see that. I don't think anyone would be able to physically carry him off the field, so they had to bring in the John Deere, but we're sending up good thoughts and prayers that Billy's going to get up and be able to get on that all by himself. Again, this is a guy that's highly depended on, highly loved by his team and by other teams around this MLR. And, of course, the fans in Seattle right now just watching with bated breath to watch and hopeful that he's going to get up and walk away.
Yeah, player that played with the Maui Warriors in 2007 to 2012.
And so I think if you look at the left foot, I think, the left foot right there when we come down, I think that's what it is. That looks like it's going to probably be a ligament. Those are one of the things, Dallin, that you hope that it's actually a break, because a break is going to heal quicker. And just really, really, our hearts go out to him. He's such a passion player for Seattle.
Yeah, back down to you, Stacey.
What I can see right now, gentlemen, is they have a brace on that leg. They're trying to keep it stable. That's obviously the right thing to do. They've just hoisted him into the John Deere. They're going to wheel him off. I know he's going to get the applause that he deserves when he's taken off the field, but they are stabilizing that leg with a temporary brace at this time.
Tolotau, a product of Central Washington University. He got a rugby scholarship there, captain for 4 years. He leaves the field. And the John Deere truck, he raises his hand, says, I'm okay, boys, do this for me. And the Seawolves fans in the crowd, they are cheering him off as their side trail right now against the Legion. Tolotau will get an early shower, and we hope he's okay. We hope to see him back in action soon. But meanwhile, back to the live play. It's Kapeli Pifoletti, the 19-year-old from the Kingdom of Tonga. Stolen line up there from Hutting, and then hacked through into touch from Paddy Ryan.
Well, this is one of those surprising things I think the touch judge got wrong. Paddy Ryan was inside his own 22. He kicked it out, and therefore he gains the ground. He didn't kick it out very far. It's going to be very difficult for Seattle to be able to defend without Vili, but they can certainly attack, and that's what they're going to try and do now.
Just 4 points in this game. 7.5 minutes to go. Kutsia. Difficult ball to handle through the legs. Now they finally clean things up here. Smith ships it wide. Duchel can't handle. San Diego now start applauding and come alive.
Paddy Ryan being a little bit too enthusiastic, congratulating Eric Duchel, but this is what the conditions are doing. That ball is very, very wet. I think Paddy Ryan, we can remind him of his long skip pass that hit the ground for all of us, but that's a real loss there for Seattle, because right now a solid scrum here by San Diego, and they can get out of their half. A scrum in the middle of the field puts a huge amount of pressure on the wings and fullbacks, and right now the Seattle wings are up, which means that even Nick Boyer could kick it over Peter Tarberio's back and be able to gain that ground.
Rob Hoadley looks on. He's got a wonderful ownership group. He said they're building something for the long run here in San Diego, and he's excited to be a part of it.
The other thing that I think San Diego will be okay with, they'll be okay with collapsed scrums. They'll be okay with doing up their shoelaces. They'll be okay with the drops. It takes time off the clock. But here they need a strong scrum, they need to get out of their half, and they just need to defend without any penalties.
Certainly right. He did want to say, he said, loving working with Scott Murray, the forwards coach for the Legion, made such a big difference. He's such an experience, and his personality suits the group. And of course, Zach Test, the workhorse, the players love working with him. He's also the director of rugby here at the Legion. Test, the legend on the 7 towards the penalty to San Diego. They will slow things down as Gaffney says, thank you very much.
Right, that's exactly what they wanted from that, because they can take another minute off the clock. They can kick the ball to touch and go for the line out. And it looked like Scott Green was calling the prop, pulling it down. I think that was John Hayden. No, sorry, that was Kellen Gordon at Loosehead, being able to pull that down. Great opportunity here. Just looking to get it out. They don't have any kickers left out there, so Kyle Rogers came up.
So much action here in Major League Rugby. Coming up next week, the Legion versus Sabercats on CBS Sports Network. It's February 9th, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern. Another cracker as they go to the back. Gaffney does well with this one. Ball at the back. Pifoletti. They go forward. And from Tongatapu, the main island of Tonga. His brother's in the squad as well, and peels away with it. Dishes it off to Enosa, who stabs it through. It's been well handled. Kicked over the top to Boyer, who's in a good position. And not many Seawolves back. Boyer, though, has a run himself. Goes across field, slips off a couple. And then Hutting makes sure he gets man and all. So the Legion just outside their 22. Pifoletti at first receiver. Uses that strong shoulder of his. Traps Duchel on the ground. Duchel swings away on that far side. It's between him and Enosa for the best hairstyle out here today. Taberio. Oh no! Slipped off the boot! And that's what can happen in conditions like this. Legion looking to capitalize on that error. Gaffney now takes it to the line. Some poor players there for the Legion. And also, quick hands. Ryan. So solid. Now Now Boyer chips it over the top, but it's directly called for a mark, and so they're going to come back here.
Well, I think the Legion just aren't playing good rugby. They're looking like they're panicked. Anosa, not normally that fly half position. He's just a little bit too flat. He's putting himself under pressure, so he had 2 kicks that weren't great, allowed Mac Turner to be at a counter kick. They just need to slow the game down. They don't have to do much, but they're going to get the line out here because it's another, didn't make touch
Not
from
out.
that mark kick.
Teo has it. It was the kick from Scott Dean, I think. So Boyer has another chance, so he's crumbled to the ground. Legion take this one back. Seawolves, I mean. Now they put it over the top from Smith. Advantage is over as the ball goes towards the touchline. It's end-to-end stuff, and will be a result here. It'll be the Legion pinned outside their 22.
Well, this is yet another Major League Rugby game that is competitive, coming right down to the last play of the game. The Legion have played some great rugby this throughout the whole game. For about the first half in particular, they were dominant, but they need to win this line out. They turn the ball over here, and the Seawolves have a real opportunity.
That's right, 10 unanswered points in the second half from the Seattle Seawolves. A try by Willie Rasalika and Rockstaller's penalty have left the Legion scoreless. 1 penalty, in fact, they got from Boyer to start things out. So just 3 they've added to their score, 14 at the break. Paddy Ryan, hasn't he been brilliant today?
He has had just an amazing game, really showing his class as a Australian international, and also his experience here, deciding that he's going to take a little bit of a rest, slow things down for him, for his team, let them reset, be very, very simple here. Their 2 main line-out targets are Lou Stanfield and Devon Short. They haven't gone to Lou yet. Last line out they threw to the back to Gaffney, which is really dangerous in conditions like this. I expect to see, if they can, they'll get it to Stanfield, but it looks like Seattle are marking that first place. So look for Devon Short in the middle.
Pifoletti, big throw in his career, minute 30 to go. The turnover here will give the ball to the Seawolves, but Devon Short has it nicely. The men's junior All-American in 2018, and the Falcon. Ball at the back for the Legion. They drive forward. Get players involved there now. Gaffney breaks free. He needs help though. Isolated. That ball's been spilt forward. Gaffney played it on the ground. Referee Green comes up with a penalty for falling off their feet.
Wow, I think that, I'm not sure why Gaffney took that ball. The hardest place to attack is from a line-out move because you have no support. He was running sideways, he tackled back, and it looked from our side that he knocked it on. But of course, Scott Green was on the other side. That's a big let-off for the Legion, and you can see why the Seawolves players are upset by that.
It certainly might be the game here. They need to win this lineup though. Still 30 seconds to go.
Last time they went to Devon Short, what's happening is that the Seawolves are taking away Lou Stanfield, who caught 4 line-out balls last week, and they're doing that because of the conditions. They're saying, we're not going to give you the easy throw at the front. That's leaving Devon Short open in the middle.
Capelli, Pifoletti, 19 years young, played for England in under 18, already been in the Eagles training camp. He goes to Rory. It's not straight though. The clock goes red. Is there time for the scrum?
There's going to be time for the scrum because it's a not straight. So when the ball is thrown, what the referees look for is they look and say, is it on the inside shoulder of the line out? And you could see as the San Diego Legion player went up, and I think that was Gaffney, he had to go to the outside. And as I said, that's a dangerous throw. And they've now given the Legion an opportunity on the last play of the game to be able to pull this out. No penalties for the Legion. Just trust in your defense. It's hard to go the whole way.
JP Smith from the Eastern Cape in South Africa. 24 years of age. Will feed the scrum. Final play of the game. 17-13 to the San Diego Legion. Hunting once, and now they got Siniula. Barton. Rasalika loses it. Legion just need to kick this out. Gaffney gives it to Teo. Teo takes it into the traffic. Now they slow things down. Paddy Ryan will want to grow that beard a bit longer, so they take their time. Big Lou Stanfield's on there for another solid 80 minutes, and Boyer finally puts it into the stands. Referee Green says yes to Rob Hoadley, and the Legion have their first win in 2019, and it's a big scalp. They've taken down the 2018 Major League Rugby champions, Seattle Seawolves. in a dramatic game. We'll be right back with highlights and more from Torero Stadium, where San Diego have defeated Seattle by 17-13.
Bad luck, well played, boys. Good stuff. Cheers, mate. Thank you very much.
Seattle Seawolves 13. Advance just began. Another quick reminder.
Literally on everywhere else breaks down.
Now it's late position. I'm sure you can yell out on the radio. Regulation fans is coming into those next week. It used to say fans. That's right here on Saturday. Can't wait to see you here for the rugby action. I don't know what you do there as well. Thanks again, ladies and gentlemen, for coming out. Please join on stage.
Major League Rugby is brought to you by Washington Federal, your banking team partner for more than 100 years and awarded Best Bank by Money Magazine. Elysian Brewing, the official craft beer sponsor of the Seattle Seawolves. Together they have released Scrum, an Irish dry stout. Available now. Together we hunt. Ivar's, seafood, Seawolves, it's the perfect match. Ivar's restaurants have been serving up award-winning seafood since 1938. Stop by Ivar's for Seattle's original seafood. And today's man of the match, brought to you by Lux Travel Management, is Mikey Teo, your single source for corporate and leisure travel anywhere in the world. A 4-point victory for the Legion. And it's the hot stepper Teo that did it all. With the boot. Solid in tackling, and he set up this brilliant try and finished things off. Gliding in, a welcome return for the Eagle Flyer, who wore 14 today. He was fantastic. And we're going to go now to Stacey Pates, who's with the hot stepper.
Obviously so excited to be back with his team, you guys. He could not miss that huddle. I assume there was a little prayer going on.
Yeah, well, we pray every morning before trainings and after our games. Just want to say, first off, thank God for his blessings, and he's always been there for us. And it's just a blessing. I want to say thank you to Seattle coming out in this weather. I know it's not sunny San Diego. I want to thank our fans coming out and everyone supporting us this year. Game 2, we're just going to move on, go back to the work week, and go on to Game 3.
Clearly grateful to be back on the pitch. He was telling me that his return from the ACL injury was very daunting, very challenging for him. It came actually at the hands of the Seattle Seawolves. That's when you originally got the injury. How extra sweet was getting this victory at home? First one of 2019.
It hasn't really sunk in. I was just happy that I was able to come back out after the journey of rehab and the stuff I went through off the field. And yeah, it's just a blessing. My teammates supported me, and they're always there for me. And yeah, it's just a blessing playing Seattle, and it was just a good win. We came out, we wanted to play honest rugby, and even no matter what weather it was, and we just came out and had a good time.
Well, it was a blessing to watch you play today. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Mike Teo making the Legion Prads proud. Well, that's a wrap for the second week of the 2019 Major League Rugby season. San Diego are now 1-1 with 14 fixtures remaining as they look to go one better than their semi-final finish from 2018. Thanks for joining us in San Diego, California, where the Legion have defeated the Seawolves by a score of 17-13 at Torero Stadium. For Stacey Pates, Pete Steinberg, and our entire crew, I'm Dylan Stanford saying thanks for watching. And don't forget, you stay classy, San Diego.